Yes, good morning once more. My name is Tony Machila and I am from College of Graduate Studies facilitating this working session. And I must emphasize that these are not full workshops, but just working sessions to share some information on Atlas TI. And today the focus is on working with surveys. So we have addressed the analysis for those who are collecting data. So we have been doing workshops, but then specifically for those who are collecting primary data through interviews. And last week we addressed the content analysis, and today we will be zooming in on those who are using surveys to collect data. And the objective of today's session is to make sure that we prepare and organize data accordingly for those who are using open-ended survey. So with open-ended survey, you will have many items, and if the bulk of your questions are open-ended, you are able to use Atlas TI. So it's not necessary for you to go and analyze the quantitative part outside of Atlas. So now they have some functions where you can load everything and analyze directly in Atlas. And today's session will be about that, because I am aware that some students, they will try to analyze the qualitative part and the quantitative part. They will maybe take it to SPSS and so on. And I think we need to start by understanding the data in our survey, the characteristics of open-ended questionnaires. And by choosing this data collection tool, you would have reflected on the advantages, disadvantages, and challenges of open-ended data. Sometimes you might have wished to conduct face-to-face interviews or online interviews, but then yeah, some things lead you to go for an open-ended survey. And compared to the transcript, when we load them on into Atlas, the open-ended survey is differently. And I must also emphasize that with open-ended surveys, there are students who do it electronically, which I recommend. There are those who would do hard copies. So if it's possible, I would suggest that you move to soft copies, the online version, because whether you are using MS Forms or SurveyMonkey, there will be an output in a form of Excel, and it will make your life very easy. So if you are using hard copies, you still now have to go and populate your Excel, those responses, and it will take a lot of your time. So I think the advantage is on using online. It will save you time, and it's also easy when you import this into Atlas. From the comments and feedback, I know there are other people joining in, so I will just try to go into the basic of opening a project and so on and so on. And I could see that some are still struggling to access the software. So I will send you the slide. This is the form that you can access and populate to request the form. Our stats units will assist with that. And after they have given you the license, please don't share it with one as per ICT requirements. And after that, I've put also a link here. So before you start using Atlas, you need to register. And I see a lot of emails, inquiries coming up from those who are starting. So you need to create an account. So you can click this link. It will take you to this site. You have to create an account. You need to put your email address, the UNISA email address, mylife@unisa. If you're staff, you can use your staff email address. When you come into the password, remember this platform is independent from my UNISA and my life. So you can put any password here. But if you want to put my UNISA one, still is fine. But the most important thing is your UNISA email address, because if you happen to have some challenges, you know that you can send the inquiry directly to Access, and because we have a license with them, they would pick up that this is a user from UNISA. So it will, using UNISA email address, it will make your life very, very, very simple. So I thought maybe I should address that and put it in the slide for easy access. Again, I've also put in a slide the links for all the sessions that we did. So for those who struggling somehow, they can easily access this. And this is all from the slides. I think for today, we are going to be practical. Okay, let me open Atlas TI, but then first thing first. So I have raw data here in a form of Excel. So this is one of the evaluation forms. I thought I can use it. It will be relevant, but in your case, you will have a lot of content. So this is the evaluation form where you fill in your designation, PhD, honors, masters, and so forth. So it's a multiple choice. The college that you are registered with, again, that is the multiple choice. You just have to tick. And the rating scales, okay, let me, I think let me go to the form directly. I believe that will make it easy for everyone to follow. So I am saying I'm using this evaluation form as part of this exercise. So you will have the questions, qualification that you've registered for, and you will have some rating scales, and there will be some open-ended questions that you can type and put in there. And I was saying from your side, you will have a lot of this open-ended than the quantitative one. And you can see even on the tool that you are using, it will give you nice summaries. You will have an idea of how people have responded. Even on the rating and multiple choice, it will do some nice graphs for you, which I believe this part you can easily incorporate into your results. But we are more focused on these open-ended questions, because by analyzing is not merely cutting and pasting what your participant has said, but then reading through them, starting to code. That process, you have to read, you have to code, open coding, Excel coding, and move to developing the themes. And I know there are some AI tools where you can throw in these results and say, okay, develop these themes, major themes from this results document, and within seconds you will get the themes. But remember, in your methodology, you outline that you will use Atlas TI, and these are the steps that you are going to follow when you are analyzing. And on the presentation of your result chapter, we need to see how you have applied those steps. So sometimes other students try to rob the system, and they just use AI tools to draw out the themes and present the themes. But then, though you will have the themes, but then that is coming with some challenges because you didn't really follow the systems or the process that you've outlined in your methodology. And your supervisor will pick it up, your examiners will pick it up. So you will be wasting your time because you will have to go back and revise. And I don't believe anyone has luxury of that time. So here I was just showing that though you have some quantitative data, you can you make use of it and use these diagrams. So let's go to Atlas. So we're creating a new project. This is working with survey data. In session 11, I create the project. Take some few seconds. Okay. So you can see here is our project. There's no documents, no codes, no memo, and everything. So the first step is to go into your folder where you have this raw data. So the online tool that you are using, or whether you are using the hard copy and transfer this into your Excel, we need to see that data designation, college registered with, and the rating scales, as well as the qualitative responses. Okay. So when you go into Atlas, because you have that survey data, you need to go to import and export. So with those who are having transcript and content, they will just drag and drop or add the documents here, and we'll see the documents appearing. But for you who are doing open-ended questionnaire, you need to go to import. You click import and you go to survey. You will see there's a survey option here. You go to survey, you click it, and then you have to go to where you have saved your data, raw data. You click on the raw data, you open, then this table will appear. It has all these items, A up to, for me here, it's A up to Q, but then for you, if you have a lot of items, so if you have 5 items, it will go from maybe A up to E or so forth. If we have 20, 50, the list will go on, and you will see under the header these items. So you will have this column in your Excel. I think it's numbered. It has 1, 2, 3, the numbers. So here it's alphabetic. And you will see so the focus should be on the column types. So the first one is ID. So if you open this option here, you will see they will be ignored. The document attributes, it will be name and comment. The document groups, you will have single answer question, multiple answer question. Then coded document content, you will have open-ended questions. So this is the option that you will have that we are going to explore now. So the first part, you will see it's ID, identity. So is it important for you? For me, it's not important. So I'm saying to Atlas, ignore this one. I don't want to work on this data because it's not related to anything exactly. It's just the system capturing the identity. So I ignore. And if I ignore, it's not gonna show in my Atlas. Start time, okay, start time, completion time. These are the time that the respondent took to complete the survey. You will see they completed the survey on the 8th May from 23 minutes past 11 to 26 minutes past 11. So do you really need this information in your Atlas for analyzing? For me, I don't need it, and I'll also ignore. The email for me, I have to ignore because now this responds to the anonymity. But then in your case, if you have an email for a reason that we have, it's fine. But then for issues of confidentiality, ethical consideration, for my side, I will not need this email address Atlas while I'm analyzing because I have to protect my participant. So I will also ignore it. The name, same thing, I'll ignore. Last modified time, I'll ignore. Now let's go designation. So designation, some were postgraduate diploma, honors, masters, and so forth. So there were some multiple choice question, and I can go to multiple answer question. And you will see after we load it under document groups, we will have a file on this multiple answer. So it will group those who are doing postgraduate diploma and give us a number, those who are doing honors, masters, and so forth. So I make it a multiple answer. Then college registered with, I can also make it a multiple answer. So for me, when I make it a single answer, it can be those options A or B, but then if there's more options, I usually think it's easy to use it as a multiple answer. And remember here, it's just organizing your data. So the focus should be more on the open-ended question, but then we have to organize this quantitative part first. So these are the rating scales from number I to number N. These are the rating scales. And you have this different options which you can classify as multiple. So from I to J, I will just go multiple answer questions. And I believe in your case, you would not have a lot of this quantitative data. So, okay, now here is a qualitative one. So what did you like about the session? Then people are typing, giving you qualitative responses. So this is definitely open-ended question. What suggestions they were typing? So again, it's an open-ended. You click the open-ended question. What suggestions? Again, it's an open-ended, and any additional comments, it's open-ended also. So now we have work on the columns. We have set it accordingly for all the questions. There are those that we ignored that we won't use. We do have quantitative one, and we've set it accordingly. And the open-ended one, we have set it accordingly. Now, we can import. So you go import. So you can see the process is different for you compared to the one who's doing the interview who have transcript. Yours is to work a bit on this thing. Now you can see we have 29 documents, 4 codes, 87 quotation. Okay. If you go to documents, you will see those are your participants. So 29 people responded. And remember these numbers here, you can, these numbers are quotations within this document. So if you open it, let's see what's in there. So if you open it, you will see these codes, the questions from the survey. What did you like most about the session? So these are the questions, not necessarily the codes. That's how Atlas is doing it. Let's go to the codes. You will see there's one code, but then if you open it, there will be survey questions. So here you will find those open-ended questions under the codes, those 3 questions. So any additional comments, if you open it, you will see all these responses here from your participants. So under codes, there will be those open-ended questions where you ticked open-ended, everything will come here. Okay, the memos are themes, nothing. If you go to document groups, document groups, you will see, because under codes, it's open-ended questions. So all those rating scales, multiple choice, they will come under document groups. You will see college registered with, it will put them accordingly. Accounting, environment, like it will differentiate them. So there was a question about the colleges, about the designation, and those Likert scale questions. So everything quantitative will come to the document groups. Everything qualitative open-ended will come to the codes. Okay. Now, what you need to do, you need to go to your document. So the process here now, it's like those who are coding the transcript. So you will double click, open the document, and go through the material. So what did you like most about the session? Generating codes for data analysis. And you will see here, it has labeled it as a question. So you can go in here and apply your code. So from here, the normal step, apply. So you can highlight, go to codes, and say generating code. It's a new code, you put a plus, it's them, and you go in the normal way of coding, and you will see under your code, the one that we've coded, they will be here. So all under the qualitative ones. So from here, you will then continue coding like you were coding a document or a transcript, and all your codes will appear here. There are those who are coding deductively. So you will have the codes before you can analyze. And for those who are doing it deductively, again, you need to have your code book ready. So these are some of the codes that I've put in suggestion. I've labeled improving workshops, improving working session, next workshop, workshop facilitation, sessions, high points, low points. So these are my codes. I know what I want to do with the qualitative data in the survey. So if you are coding deductively, you go to codebook, you import this codebook, you fetch it where it is. This is session 11 codebook. You open. Now, if you click on override existing codes, I think you can leave this open. Don't override any codes that is there for now. Then you can import. Then you can see those codes are in your list of codes now from your codebook. So if you are doing it deductively, you can open a document and say, okay, what suggestions do we have for improving working session? They're talking about interaction, so you can highlight it and then apply the codes. So suggestions, you already have those codes. Improving working sessions, you can just highlight it and it will code accordingly. Then it will appear in your codes. You see there's one there. So that's how you will need to do it. And everything from here, it is like any other coding strategy. You will have your codes here. Then from the list of codes, you will then group them, clean them, merge them. If they are related, you can establish the relationships and work on the density And what is also interesting about these responses, you can open your codes, your analysis, and show go to code document. Okay, so another thing that you can do is go to your documents and open, you can work on your network diagram. Your network diagram, sometimes it helps. So you can open the network and it will show you this in this window. And what you can do, you can open it up and add neighbors. So in this instance, you can work on quotations. You can open quotations from your participant, respondent number 19. Then under this code, you can open them and click show comments, preview, and you will see there will be, okay, let's go on preview. So you will immediately see this, the responses. And if you want to, let's open again, maybe for the next document. Okay. So if it happens that you want to work on the network space, these are quotations, and here you can easily relate them. Saying this one, you can work on those relationships that you normally work in the code manager. So even here in the network diagram, you can do that and establish the relationship within what your participants are saying in a form of the quotation. So on the quotation level, you can still establish the relationships. So what you do here on the code manager, establishing this relationship, you can also do it by those responses from your participants. So that is another function that I wanted to show you. And from here, whatever you do, you follow the same steps as if you are analyzing the transcripts or your content. And I have included these links here that you can follow and revise accordingly. So for today's session, I think I am going to stop here. Yeah, because I just wanted to show you that difference of loading your data. But then from loading your data, everything is the same. You code the way you are coding as if you are analyzing transcripts or content and so forth. So this is where the difference is. And I think I'll stop here and see if there are any questions or comments. So those who are working with surveys, rest assured, you can analyze everything in Atlas. Don't go out of Atlas. Do everything in Atlas. And some people may ask, okay, how do we then deal with the quantitative part? Because under document groups, we have this rating scales and quantitative part. So I believe you can work on the graphs, but then how you are presenting your findings, you can shy away from these percentages and use other words like majority felt so I think that is how you can do it. But then the person that you should confirm with is your supervisor. Always talk to your supervisor on the strategy that you are using, and you will never go wrong. So while we have this quantitative part, it is also useful, and you can have, for example, Working on the outputs, same thing. You can export the report and just include what you want, and then the output will be the same. So these are kind of things that you can use to demonstrate that you have been working in Atlas and your data is organized. So yeah, let me just go to the questions.